Things you should never say when you are single. If you say them, you are remaining single. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. This is Jenga Njeru. Now, on this episode, I want to guide you on a few things that you should never say if you are single. And if you want to get married, it doesn't matter your age. If you say these things, if you mention these things, you are going to remain single because this is a principle. In the book of Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7, the Bible says, "And wisdom is the principal thing, and in all thy getting, get understanding." I repeat, wisdom is the principal thing, and in all thy getting, get understanding. You see, there are things and there are other things. Wisdom is not just a thing, it is the principal thing. Most people know that principal things are things that take the top positions. Principal things are the things that matter. So when you're told that wisdom is the principal thing, you should understand that if you do not have that wisdom, you are not going to have the most important thing, the principal thing. And you see what the Bible tells you. It's an urge: in all thy getting. Not in thy getting, in all thy getting, get understanding. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not understand the place of wisdom in this arrangement, you will remain single, and most people will mock you, saying that, you know what, this person was bewitched, this person cannot keep a man, this person cannot keep a woman. Why? Because you don't understand the principal thing. So let's start by definition. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to recognize difference. Wisdom is the ability to differentiate between right and wrong. Wisdom is knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Wisdom is also the ability to know when not to say what you know. And these are the things I want you to understand, so that by the time, ladies and gentlemen, by the time you are starting to date, by the time you are entering the dating scene, maybe you've not made up your mind. By the time you are entering the dating scene, you're well covered. So are you ready? But before then, if you're watching us for the very first time, this is the Matchmaker Show. We help men and women to get matches, and the moment they get the right ones, they meet their destiny. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Consider subscribing. You can share our content if this is something you like. You can share on your WhatsApp status. You can share with friends and family. We always say here, to be informed is to be transformed, and to be enlightened. You know, the more enlightened you are on any subject matter, the greater the level of command you gain. Are we together? So it's always good to know that iron sharpens iron. Are you ready? Number one, you should never say, I can't get married. Never say never. I can't get married. You see that kind of self-talk. Self-talk is the real talk. Self-talk is the only talk. Jenga Njeru is who Jenga Njeru thinks he is. Jenga Njeru is who Jenga Njeru tells himself he is. If I believed from the beginning that I'll be matching people internationally, that's who I am. If I believed I'll be building bestsellers, best-selling books, writing them one after the other, and that is who I am. If I believe that I'm the best speaker, you know what I mean? The best writer, the best author. Jenga Njeru is who Jenga Njeru thinks he is. Ladies and gentlemen, self-talk is the only talk. Self-talk is the only real talk. Every other kind of talk is very controversial. The other person holds a very different opinion about yourself. But you hold the only opinion that matters. If you start by saying, na mimi naeza pata kweli, you know that negative defeatist kind of talk. Mimi naeza pata kweli. Mimi naeza pata kweli. Am I a person who can get a match? Can I really get a match? If you argue from that point, if you argue from that angle, it is from your mouth to God's ear. Your confession is your possession. If you feel like that negative energy is creeping, repent and just shift and get the right mindset. Otherwise, if you keep on saying, mi siwezi olewa, nani anaweza nipenda, aki wanawake watanikubali, wanaume watanikubali. This is the devil who is trying to talk to you. A very defeatist kind of talk. Very defeated. And I've told you that wisdom is the ability to recognize difference. You should recognize that the difference between now and then is time. And who makes it happen? Is it not the God of heaven? Will I preach now? So number one, avoid that negative self-talk. It's a kind of negativity that enters your system. You start preaching to yourself, you're not beautiful, you're not handsome, you're not equal to the task. You should always look at yourself through the mirror and tell yourself you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are who God's think you are, made in his own image and likeness, unless you are not created by God. Who created you? God. So number one, avoid that negative talk. Number two, never say never. You see, this might look very common. I know that there are people who have been maybe disappointed in the past. There are people who have been disappointed big time. I've talked to people who have been swindled millions of money by people they loved, swindled a lot of money through a divorce, through an arrangement that almost found them dead. So many stories, disheartening. But ladies and gentlemen, we have good men and women. Since I started this show, I realized, oh no, we have so many people. We have so many people, very good people. Men and women have been disappointed in equal measure. And you know why you guys get disappointed? Because you marry out of convenience. Most of you think they are marrying out of love. It's convenience. You got pregnant, he's there, he's ready to take care of the baby, and maybe you didn't even like him, you don't like him. That's why we're having so many cases of paternity fraud. Because none of you ever had the truest level of desire towards one another. Out of convenience. Ulipata mimba, ikaanza kushoot, haiwezi jificha tena, and you asked, ukaona utapata aibu, ukahamia kwake. Ukahama na tunguo twako, ukahang kwake. You know? And the guy is like, wait a minute, what did we just do? Oh, unwanted pregnancy, unwanted child. So never say never. At the end of the day, you will stabilize financially. You will stabilize mentally. Tough times last, but tough times don't last, but tough people do. Today we are having ups and downs. Tomorrow you will straighten the terrain. It doesn't matter how, God will make it happen, because the God of the valley is still the God of the mountain. So never say never. I have interviewed women in their 70s on this show, and 80s, 60s likewise. Do you know one thing they tell me? I wish I did this earlier. I wish I started earlier. I've interviewed men. You've seen them in their 70s. In their 80s, have you not seen them? Did you see the common question I asked them? What is one of your regrettable moments in as much as dating is concerned? Said, I wish I dated earlier. I wish I am doing these things for my children, because time has gone. So if you still have that idea that you will be married at some point, ladies and gentlemen, never say never. Let it be now. Learn to take, you are not a coward. Wewe sio mwoga. Hiyo kitu unapotelea. Oh, let me take a break. Hey, I'm taking a break. That break you will take and then you resume when you are older. Maybe 5 years later, 10 years. And maybe you have gotten a man. Are you getting the point? Are you getting the point? Are you getting a point? Number 3, never say that your children are the hindrance to your marriage. You see, children are blessings. And they're not just blessings in disguise. Children are the truest level of blessings, a pointer of real blessings. And when you get children, you should never try to put up a show like, were it not for children, I would be married. In fact, children are supposed to enhance your happiness. And most people complain because maybe you're trying to date somebody, and let's take the case of a woman. That woman is trying to date a man. Maybe she has 3 children. And every man she approaches, the man is like, hey, watoto watatu na hii economy. you can understand him because it's not by force. And number two, bearing that this economy is actually very harsh and maybe the children are small, you will feel like, oh, as a human being, you can ask yourself, aki kama si ya watoto si huyu angenichukua. Nothing can be compared with children. Don't compare them to anything. No, dead or alive, don't. Your children are your greatest levels of blessings. When you have children, even if people ask, what have you been doing all your life? You just tell them, what? I've been raising my children. You see, there are people who can build homes. I'll give you a scenario. There are people who can spend their time building homes, building property, building estates, buying vehicles. And you spend your time, energy, and all of the resources. Your energy goes into raising those children. And one day, because God uses the justice systems of heaven, one day God decides to bless your children. And then, whether it is one of them or all of them, they decide now to do those things that those people who used to think you are foolish were doing that time. Without your struggle now, through your children, they build houses for you. They build estates for you. They buy vehicles for you. They set up businesses for you. Oh, and within no time, you are either at that level or you have overtaken those people. In the system of God, that is called restoration. So, children are never losses. So never say that your children are the reason why you are not married. Please remove that wicked thought from your mind. Never say that. Look at them and smile. When you look at your children, whether you have them in the photo, whether you have them at home, look at them and smile. Tell God, I know there are people who are looking for such and they have not found them. Don't trivialize blessings. Finally, never. And this one goes to everyone who gets very excited when they start dating. When you start dating, or before you start dating, never tell somebody I cannot live without you. You have just handed the other person leverage. There are people, maybe for whatever reason, I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you. You are telling the other person you cannot live without them. Is your head correct? Hiyo kichwa yako iko sabamba. Unaambia hivyo mtu mnajaribu kujuana, and that person is trying to know your strengths, and then you have handed him or her your weaknesses. That person is now ready to manipulate you big time. And one of the videos I did today, I asked people, if you have not watched that video, go back and watch it. I've titled it, Date Like a Boss, because bosses take the top positions. Bosses represent power. Bosses represents authority, order, first place positions, not tail positions, first place. So the placement you get in any person's life is directly dependent on how you carry yourself. Imagine you're trying to date somebody, mumejuana siku ya kwanza, umesimp, oh baby, I cannot live without you. Even the other person can tell you're just a hypocrite. How did you develop love? And on very rare occasions do people marry their crushes. And then after some time, the person you are crushing for, God decides to show you, unaona kwa nini sasa hukuoa huyu? This is what you needed. And I've met people who are very proud. Unaangalia mtu anaona sasa huyu let me not go there, because that is now going to extend this video, and I don't want to extend it further, but at least things you should never say. 4 things you should never say. If you say them, you are going to remain single. Words are very powerful. That self-talk, make it positive, because words are life. Words are the basic unit of life. They are cells. They make up life. Ladies and gentlemen, are you getting interesting? Are you getting interested? Is this getting interesting? Is this something you're interested in? Let us know where you're watching us from. I'll see you in the next video. To be enlightened is what we are looking forward to. I hope this podcast makes you happy and you learn every day. Consider subscribing. Don't forget to share. Let us know where you're watching us from. And you can also give us a thumbs up or a like if you find this content very helpful. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video.